Hi, today we're going to review what we learned yesterday and do an assignment over 7-4. So our objective today is to be able to solve a quadratic equation by factoring. Okay, so remember yesterday we had problems that looked like this. 3x plus 5 times 2x minus 3 equals 0. If you multiply 3x plus 5 times 2x minus 3 and the answer is 0, that means one of these factors has to be 0. So what you do is you set 3x plus 5 equal to 0, and you set 2x minus 3 equal to 0. One of those has to be 0 in order to multiply and get 0. Then what you do from there is solve the equation. So on the first one, you take away 5 to get 3x equals negative 5, and then you divide by 3. So my first answer is x equals negative 5/3. When I solve the second equation, I add 3 to get 2x equals 3, then divide by 2. So my other solution would be x equals 3/2. All right, put a number 1 in your notebook and write x squared minus 10x equals 0. Okay, now they want me to solve for x. The way I'm going to solve is I'm going to factor. So I'm going to look at this and say, what's a common factor between x squared and minus 10x? It would be x. Good. So this would be x. I would factor out my x. And then in parentheses, I would ask myself, what do I multiply by x to get x squared? That would be x. What do I multiply by x to get negative 10x? That would be a negative 10. And that equals 0. Okay. Now I know if I multiply these and I get 0, either x equals 0 or x minus 10 equals 0. So what I'm going to do is solve the second equation by adding 10, and that would give me a solution of x equals 10. So x would equal 0 or x would equal 10. Okay, put a number 2 down on your paper. Number 2 says y squared equals 5y. Notice it's not set equal to 0. So if it's not set equal to 0, what I have to do is subtract 5y so that I get the right side equal to 0. I can't take y squared minus 5y. They're not like terms, so I just write down y squared minus 5y. Now, what could I factor out? What goes into y squared that also goes into 5y? Y, right, so I'm going to factor out a y. What would I have left in parentheses? Y minus 5, right. So then from there, I set y equal to 0 or y minus 5 equal to 0. Well, the first one's already solved, y is 0. But the second one, I've got to add 5 to get y equals 5. Or my two solutions would be y equals 0 or y equals 5. All right, right, number 3, 25c plus 10c squared equals 0. We just got an extra plus sign. Don't worry about that one. Okay, so this one is set equal to 0. What goes into 25c that also goes into 10c squared? Well, the number that goes into 25 and 10 is 5, but they both have a c in common. So I can factor out a 5c. In parentheses, I'm going to write down what I have left. Well, what do I multiply by 5c to get 25c? 5. And what do I multiply by 5c to get 10c squared? 2c. Yes. Now that I have it factored, I just set 5c equal to 0, and I set 5 plus 2c equal to 0. All right, we're going to solve the first equation for c by dividing by 5. We'll get c equals 0. We're going to solve the second equation for c by taking away 5, getting 2c equals negative 5, then dividing by 2. So either c equals 0 or c equals negative 5 halves, negative 5 over 2. All right, we have one more question I want to review. So if you have directions that say find the x-coordinates of the points where the graph crosses the x-axis, here's my x-axis. They're asking me to find those points. Well, here's the origin. Okay, the x value of the point on the right would be 2. The x value on the point on the left, if I start at 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Also notice the equation they're giving me, y equals x minus 2 times x plus 3. If I solve that by putting 0 in for y, because the points on the x-axis have a y value of 0, if I took x minus 2 and set it equal to 0, and x plus 3 and set it equal to 0, and solved both of those, I would get an x equals 2. And here, if I took away 3, I would get an x equals negative 3. Okay? All right, so how are you feeling about lesson 7.4, solve by factoring? 1, 2, or 3? 3 means you get it, 1 means you're a little lost. All right, today I need you to work on your Big Ideas 7-4 assignment. If you finish early, I want you to go ahead and start your math evaluate. If you've already started it, do some more in it. The more you do today, the less you have to do next Wednesday when we finish it. Have a good day.